My name is Autumn Mitchell, and I played Juliet in AWOL's production Choices: A Romeo and Juliet Story.
My name is Jason Forster. I'm 15 years old. I played Romeo in Choices, a Romeo and Juliet story.
I started with the ACT UP, the Theater and Performing Arts program, and what I learned is just how to be a professional actor. It's when I first started AWOL, I was right out of middle school when I was in 10th grade, and they really didn't teach you the fundamentals of being an actor, like going into the professional world. But once I stepped foot in the ACT UP program, it was a whole different story. Things were more like a tight ship, and you had to learn lines and everything. And I learned that when I started, I was an amateur. I'm still an amateur now, but I'm more aware of the professional act theater world and preparing me to go out and get a job and a career.
We filled out our sheets. They gave us this little piece of paper, and on the paper was about like a paragraph monologue. And what you had to do is, if you were going for acting, you would act out the monologue pretty much. And mine personally was about a boy who was overcoming his bully. He used to be kind of weak, but then one day he was just said enough is enough, and he overcame his bully. I was extremely nervous, so I kind of ran through it, but I guess it was good. I guess I did pretty well because I got in. The first week was pretty much to assess our abilities as artists. We had a lot of different workshops. We learned a lot about Shakespeare, voice projection, stage presence, all that stuff. Being aware of your surroundings, and a lot of really cool theater tricks.
AWOL has helped me improve in other areas of my life by building my confidence. Before I was shy, I wouldn't talk to anybody. I didn't have any friends or whatever, or I wouldn't talk to anybody. I would just in a crowd full of people, in a room full of people, I would just sit in a corner, just observe.
After our roles were established, we received our scripts, and we took it little by little. We went scene by scene. We learned the first few lines, acted them out. We learned the second few, we went over. We kept on repeating it because that's what you have to do when you're learning lines. But so after started learning, going into dance rehearsals, started learning choreography, um, started learning stage combat because there were a few fight scenes in the show. It was a lot of, it was taxing, but it was so much fun. I mean, it was an enlightening experience. I learned a lot.
Opening day for AWOL um, choices was it was nerve wracking. I mean, I really don't get stressed, but it was nerve wracking because it's different performing in front of thousands of people that you don't know. But for me, it's different because you're performing in front of thousands of people that you do know, and they have more to say about you, like, oh, that's Autumn, and she do this and she does that.
Opening day um, was a nerve-wracking day. I woke up nervous. We didn't go to school that day because the first show was in the middle of the school day. So that was always fun, getting to get out of school.
It was just, it was just amazing. I mean, I like big crowds, but it was also nerve wracking because it was a full house. You don't know whether if you get up on stage, you start talking, they'll start talking over you because it was a bunch of kids. But you don't know if they'll start talking over you or just disrespectful. But it was a good crowd. It was a good vibe. The kids seemed like they liked it.
I was nervous. I was breathing. My heart was pumping. My blood was rushing. And like the few seconds before I went on stage for the first time in front of at least 1,000 kids from all over Chatham County, it was, I don't know, it was bad and good at the same time. Like I felt my gut suck in, like my I started breathing extremely fast, started hyperventilating, like my body got warm. I could feel my veins. Like sometimes you don't even know where they are, but I felt my veins.
I was just glad that the audience did get the story and they understood the plot of choices, that life is about choices. We all have to make them. So let's just make the right ones. And I was just glad that a whole bunch of kids understood that they just didn't, that they weren't unentertained. So that was our job as performers, to entertain the crowd and bring a lesson across.
I walked out on that stage and I thought I was gonna forget my lines, but we had run the play so many times it was seared into my brain. And when I got out there, we just did it. It was amazing. It was literally the best feeling I've ever had.
My emotions when it was all over, closing night, was I can't believe it's actually over. I was sad. I was really sad. You never want it to be over. I was about to cry. I was crying, yeah. But it was just so emotional because you work with a great cast. It's just a family. You don't want to leave your family, so it was just emotional, and it was fun. It's all those weeks and months of rehearsal finally paid off. We had a good show, but you don't want it to end. It's just that fun, and that's what I loved about it.